June 28, 1762, St. Petersburg, Russia. A German princess wakes up at 6 a.m. By noon, she'll be Empress of Russia. By nightfall, her husband, the Emperor, will be her prisoner. This is the story of the coup no one talks about. The 24 hours Catherine the Great stole an empire. Not with an army, not with a battle, with 4 lovers, 3 regiments, and 1 impossible lie. Here's how she did it. But first, if you want more stories like this, subscribe now. This channel uncovers the moments history tried to hide. I'm Arthur, and this is Shadow History. Everything you'll see is based on her portraits, palace records, and eyewitness accounts. The images are AI. The coup is real. Let me show you how a foreign princess became the most powerful woman in the world. To understand why Catherine staged a coup, you need to meet her husband, Grand Duke Peter, heir to the Russian throne. He was an idiot. Not politically, not strategically, literally. He played with toy soldiers at 34 years old.
Forward! Charge the enemy!
He made his servants march around his bedroom pretending to be regiments while he commanded imaginary battles. Catherine married him in 1745. She was 16, a minor German princess named Sophie, brought to Russia for one purpose: produce an heir. The marriage was a disaster from night one. Peter was more interested in his toys than his wife. According to her memoirs, Catherine wrote,
"He would rather play at soldiers than fulfill the duties of a husband."
For 9 years, the marriage wasn't consummated. 9 years. Catherine was trapped, a foreign princess in a hostile court, watched constantly. Her only value tied to a child she couldn't produce because her husband preferred playing war games. Then, in 1754, she finally had a son, Paul. But here's the detail no one talks about. Paul probably wasn't Peter's child. Court rumors, never proven, suggested Catherine had taken a lover to produce the heir everyone demanded. The Empress Elizabeth, Peter's aunt who ruled Russia, reportedly arranged it. She needed an heir. She didn't care how it happened.
Russia needs an heir. Your husband cannot provide one. You will find another way.
The moment Paul was born, Empress Elizabeth took him away. Catherine barely saw her own son. He was the heir. She was just the vessel. And Peter? He hated her. In 1762, Empress Elizabeth died. Peter became Emperor Peter III. Catherine became Empress Consort, powerless, hated, isolated. Peter immediately started making enemies. He pulled Russia out of the 7 Years' War just when they were winning because he personally admired Frederick the Great of Prussia. The military was furious. He mocked the Orthodox Church, dressed his guards in Prussian uniforms, talked about divorcing Catherine and sending her to a convent. Catherine saw what was coming: exile, or worse. She had 2 choices: disappear or take the throne herself. She chose the throne. Subscribe if you want to see how she did it, because what comes next is one of the greatest coups in history. Catherine couldn't stage a coup alone. She was a woman, a foreigner. She had no army, no official power, no legal claim to the throne. But she had something Peter didn't: lovers who were loyal. The key was Alexei Orlov. Tall, handsome, a lieutenant in the elite Izmailovsky Guards regiment. He distinguished himself in the 7 Years' War, brave, charismatic, beloved by his men. And he was one of 5 brothers, all officers, all with influence in different regiments. Catherine had been his lover since 1660. According to reports, she told him,
I need men who will stand with thee, not just my chamber, but on the field.
Orlov understood. This wasn't just romance, this was recruitment.
This is not
The Orlov brothers became Catherine's secret cabinet. Each one controlled access to a different part of the military. Grigory, Izmailovsky Guards, Alexei, Semyonovsky Guards, Fyodor, artillery officers, Vladimir and Ivan connected to lower ranks. Through them, Catherine could feel the pulse of the military. She knew which officers hated Peter, which regiments were on the edge of mutiny, which men could be bought, persuaded, or inspired. She also had a second lover, Stanislaw Poniatowski, a Polish diplomat. Through him, she maintained connections to European courts, ensuring foreign powers wouldn't interfere. But here's what no one talks about. Catherine's lovers weren't just political tools, they were her government in waiting. While Peter played with toys, Catherine was building a shadow administration. The Orlovs would secure the military, Poniatowski would handle diplomacy, and she, the powerless Empress consort, would take the throne. The plan was simple. 1. Wait for Peter to make a fatal mistake. 2. Rally the Guards regiments. 3. Declare Catherine the rightful Empress. 4. Arrest Peter before he could react. They just needed the right moment. It came on June 27, 1762. Peter threw a massive party at his summer palace. He got drunk, publicly humiliated Catherine in front of foreign ambassadors, called her a fool. That night, Grigory Orlov sent word to his brothers, tomorrow, we move tomorrow. Subscribe now, because what happens in the next 24 hours changes Russian history forever.
June 28, 1762, 6 a.m. Catherine wakes up in her bed at Peterhof, the summer palace outside St. Petersburg. There's a man at her door, Alexei Orlov, Grigory's brother. He says one sentence.
Your Majesty, it is time to go.
Catherine doesn't ask questions. She's been waiting for this moment for months. She gets dressed, no servants, no ladies in waiting, just her and Alexei. They get into a carriage and race towards St. Petersburg. 45 minutes. The city gates are opening. Guards wave them through. 7:30 a.m. They arrive at the Izmailovsky Guards barracks. The soldiers are gathering for morning muster. Grigory Orlov is there. He's already been spreading the word. The Emperor plans to arrest the Empress. She needs our protection. It's a lie, but it works. Catherine steps out of the carriage. She's wearing a simple black dress, no crown, no jewels. A priest steps forward with an Orthodox icon. Catherine kneels, kisses it. The guards drop to their knees. One shouts, "Long live Empress Catherine!" Then another, then the entire regiment. 8:30 a.m. The Semyonovsky Guards join them. Then the Preobrazhensky Guards. 3 regiments, 14,000 men, all swearing loyalty to Catherine. But here's the detail history forgets. Catherine didn't have the throne yet. Peter was still emperor. She was staging a coup with no legal authority. If Peter acted fast, if he rallied loyal troops, if he arrested her, she'd be executed for treason. Speed was everything. 10 a.m. Catherine leads the regiments to the Winter Palace in the heart of St. Petersburg. Thousands of soldiers marching through the streets, Crowds gather. Catherine rides at the front, visible, confident. They reach the Kazan Cathedral. The Archbishop of Novgorod is waiting. He proclaims Catherine Empress and Autocrat of all Russia.
By the grace of God, Empress and Autocrat of Russia!
Not Empress Consort, not Regent, Empress. Noon, Catherine enters the Winter Palace. She walks into the throne room, sits on the throne. Courtiers who served Peter hours ago now bow to her. The coup is complete, but Peter is still alive, still emperor by law, still dangerous. Catherine gives the order.
Find him. Bring him to me.
Yes, Your Majesty.
If you're wondering what happens next, subscribe, because this story gets darker.
Peter doesn't know about the coup until 2 p.m. He's at his palace in Oranienbaum, still celebrating from the night before, drunk, playing cards. A messenger arrives.
Your Majesty, the Empress has seized St. Petersburg. The guards have declared for her.
Peter panics. He wants to flee to his loyal fortress at Kronstadt. He boards a ship with a few advisors. But when they arrive at Kronstadt, the gates are closed. The commander shouts from the walls.
We serve Empress Catherine. You are not welcome here.
Peter has nowhere to go, no army, no allies. He returns to Oranienbaum, writes a desperate letter to Catherine, offering to share power. Catherine's reply is cold. For the security of the state, you must abdicate. June 29th, 1762. Alexei Orlov arrives at Oranienbaum with guards. Peter signs the abdication document. He's weeping, begging.
Alexei, I beg you, show mercy.
Take him.
No, please!
They take him to Rapsha, a small palace 15 miles from St. Petersburg. He's under house arrest, officially a prisoner, officially alive, for now. July 6th, 1762, 1 week later, Alexei Orlov sends Catherine a letter. The monster is dead. Peter III, Emperor of Russia for 6 months, is dead at 34. The official cause, hemorrhoidal colic, a stomach illness. The truth, almost certainly murder. Here's what we know. Peter was drinking with his guards. There was a fight. He was strangled. Here's what we don't know. Did Catherine order it? She claimed she didn't. She punished no one. She expressed shock and grief. But Alexei Orlov, the man who killed him, was never arrested, never exiled. Instead, Catherine made him a count, gave him estates, kept him close. The message was clear. Peter's death was necessary, and those who made it happen would be rewarded. Catherine had taken the throne in 24 hours, but she secured it with one death. Subscribe if you want to know what she did with that power, because her reign changed Russia forever. Catherine ruled Russia for 34 years. She expanded the empire by 200,000 square miles, annexed Crimea in 1783, crushed rebellions, corresponded with Voltaire and Diderot, rewrote Russian law. She became one of the most powerful rulers in European history, and she did it with the same strategy that won her the coup: strategic intimacy. Her most important partner was Grigory Potemkin, brilliant, volatile, possibly her secret husband. Together, they governed Russia's expansion south, built cities, created the Black Sea Fleet. When Potemkin died in 1791, Catherine was devastated. She wrote, "My student, my friend, my idol is dead." But she didn't stop. She took new favorites, younger men who helped her govern, who kept her connected to the army, the court, the empire.
Her critics called her a nymphomaniac, scandalous, immoral. But here's what they missed. Every lover was a political alliance. Catherine didn't just take lovers for pleasure. She used intimacy as statecraft, binding powerful men to her personally, ensuring their loyalty to her throne. It worked for 34 years, until November 17, 1796. Catherine collapsed from a stroke. She died hours later at 67. And then the rumors started. The most famous, that she died having sex with a horse. It's a lie, completely fabricated, started by her enemies to humiliate her legacy. But it stuck. For 200 years, that myth overshadowed everything she accomplished. The Empress who expanded Russia, who ruled longer than almost any Romanov, who took power in a single day, reduced to a vulgar joke. Here's the truth. Catherine the Great staged the most efficient coup in history. She turned lovers into a government. She ruled an empire as a foreign woman in a world that said she couldn't. And history tried to erase her with a lie about a horse. Subscribe to Shadow History, because we tell the stories they tried to bury. Catherine proved that power isn't inherited, it's taken. She seized a throne in 24 hours and held it for 34 years. The past never apologized. Like, share, subscribe. I'm Arthur. Until next time.